Good day, YouTubers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. We got all 52 of them made up. We started that last week and found that we need to have that hook shape turned perpendicular. So the first few we got on here, a couple of them broke when I turned it, and I had to take it back over there and start over again. So we're taking these little straps, cutting them loose from the pack and hooking them on there, and then nailing them in down here on the bottom. The nailing part's pretty easy, but because we don't have all these exactly the same twist and hook shape, I'm running into some issues. So we'll get ready and set one up here. And I went ahead and pre-glued this holding piece on the outside before I started over here. When I started, I drove some little teeny tiny nails in to hold it temporarily while I was setting these in place and pinning them into the wall. And when I tried to fit some of them in there, they wouldn't fit, and I had to pull this front piece back a little bit and broke it in a couple places. So ended up adding a bunch of pins and just nailing it on permanently and gluing it on. I'll pull these pins out later on, but it ended up being a learning process because of the they're just not cooperating when you have that loose opening there and there's no thing to trap them. So before I even started on this side yesterday, I glued this piece on, and here's one that doesn't have it on there yet, so that I don't have to deal with trying to regulate them. And then imagine trying to put that on after you get all of them in there and they're flopping out and falling off, and it was just a nightmare. So I'm gluing that on ahead of time and having to get that twist in the right spot so I don't have too much length or too short of a length on the hook, so that all the dead eyes will hopefully be at close to the same height when we start lacing them up to the other dead eye above it. I'm sure they're not going to be, but we're trying our best to make them the same, but it isn't working out like I thought. But we are going to go ahead and pin them on there and keep on moving along. We'll probably break a few more as we turn that hook to the right spot. So let me get set up here to do one, and then I'll bring you guys back in on it. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Just pick one and let's go. It may break and it may not, so I'm going to turn this one away from where the twist was heading, and then pre-squeeze it a little bit. And then these are, because I put that brass black on there on one side, I don't need it on both sides. I get my cutters. We've got a little connector piece we got to nip off. And then the one below it connecting to the rest of them. And I'm thinking I want that hook in the back, so I'm going to have the black, brass black facing this way. I want to close that enough where I can get it through that opening in there, and then pre-bend this here where it nails onto the hull of the ship. And now come over here, get the camera right so you can see. And it fits through there. So now I've been taking a pair of tweezers and grabbing the brace. I'm also looking at the next hole. It'll strap down over here next to this gun port. So I'm going to make this one pretty much straight with the opening above it. Now I need to take a nail, get it in my pliers, get the nail through the hole, and then check it again. I want to make sure the bottom of this is lined up with that rubbing stake. That is one constant that we can maintain, is the bottom of the strap touching the top of the rubbing stake. And once we get it tacked through the skin, then we use a nail set, get it close but not tight, because I want to get the other nail installed and making that bottom of that strap straight. Yep, too much. You guys probably not being able to see that. I can run that home. Finish that top one off. And it's a little too tall. I don't like it that way. There is a little bit of give in those, so, but when we tie the ropes on there, it's going to pull it So we want to try to get it to where it'll be the right height. So what I did on a few of the ones over there was close this hook up some more and then cut off the excess. So I'm going to pull this down to see if I can get to it with the pliers. Each one of these is a real challenge. Not much better than I was to start with. I'm trying to bend that hook up more so it takes up slack on the twisted part. And it's not working like I want it to. I should have done that before I stuck it in the hole here. Not ideal. So much for showing a good install to the camera. How can I save that? I need to get that hook bent all the way up. And pliers are just so big they can't get in there. Tweezers are too weak. This wire is really stiff. Let's see if I can bend it up from down here. Just not cooperating. Yeah, I'm almost making it worse. I want those straps to be as straight as possible. I'm looking at all the other ones on the other side that came out pretty decent, and this one's got a nice ugly bend in it. Once you put them nails in the bottom, buddy, you're pretty much done. How can I close that without breaking something? Might be able to bend the whole thing. That's a little better. Now I'm going to put pressure on this wood. It's already come loose on that end. So I'm going to leave that one like that, because when I pull on it, the ropes aren't going to make it go higher. And this is straight. But I got to get some glue in there. Talk about tedious. Now we want to scrape some of that glue onto this part where it arches across here. Give that some strength. Okay. Not ideal for how-to, is it? Each one is a little challenge. Sometimes they're easy and sometimes they're not. You see that? Sort of what I'm looking for in the beginning when I close that up. It's going to be trying to make it where the hook in there is right in the wood. So let's get another one of these out. See if we can do better on this second one. Trying to make it where the hook is in the back there. Close that up enough for it to get through the hole. Pre-bend that a little bit. And we'll make this one go right next to the cannon door. Yes, there it goes. Drop my pliers. Get a nail. Don't drop the nail, because I'm putting it in my left hand so I can drive the nail in with my right hand. I'm right-handed, so. Yep, right next to the cannon door. The gun port. Fossa's a little rambunctious this morning. My wife is in there working on the phone, and She said, come get this dog. He's making too much noise. So now he's doing the same thing out here. Pacing back and forth. Okay. Almost the same height, yeah. So you can see the second one went a lot easier than the first one. But you know, every one you do is going to be different. Different challenge. Let's go see the chickens. Get this camera out of here. Whoa. Sorry, palms away. Dropped the camera. See what I built yesterday? I got to build another one just like it. And one will go here. The other one will go here in the greenhouse for plants. And those are some old fence posts left over from the hurricane. And then these are 2 by 3. 2 by 3s, and they're cheap. They're like $3.50 a piece, 8-footers. And I'm just cutting them in half, so I got 4 foot with a 1-inch space. And use a bunch of screws. Make it beefy as possible. Should hold up for several years. And it looks good. That was an idea my wife had. She wanted me to build these for her to put in the greenhouse. So not exactly the same, but she'll never know the difference. Well, there's one chicken out. So we throw a bunch of weeds and plant cuttings in there for them to work on. Good morning, girls. Good morning. You looking at the camera? Good morning. This is Henny Penny. I don't have a name for the other two yet. We're averaging 2 eggs a day. Henny Penny's the one that's on the nest all the time. Had 1 egg this morning. Oh, there's another egg. So that's 2 so far. Hopefully we'll get a 3rd one today. And Donald and Daffy just ran out the door. thought I heard one of them jump up in the nest already. So we'll go put this egg in the refrigerator. Sit down and do another dead eye. Okay, so we got the main mast finished up with the straps in the bottom dead eyes. Enough clearance for the gun ports. And then we went and did the back rear mast, and this one was a little tougher because probably similar to the front. The distance between here and here is a little tight, and you can see this one here is sticking out of the hole. And that one is a little bit too. When I got the hook short enough, I think it'll be okay compared to the other ones when they're standing up. So only a few millimeters makes a big difference. One trick I did find is if when you make this bend here, the further up you make the bend, you can shorten up the distance to the bottom of the hook. So that's one way to cheat a little bit. I wish I'd have known that down there when I was fighting those, but you learn as you go and you get better as you do it more. So it's time to turn the ship around and do the other side. Okay, we said we were going to finish the other side. And we did. It's hard to see up under there, isn't it? Give my flashlight. That's too much light. Well, the kit gives us these little brass nails, and of course I used 6, 7, 8 of them making these templates up. I had to take one out. I found a couple in my old kits from the old models. I dropped a couple on the floor and couldn't find them. I did find one, but there's just enough in the kit to do that all the way around. So you got 52 dead eyes, so that's 104 nails. Don't lose any nails because there's just enough in the kit to do 104 plus a couple. And I did luck out. I was almost gonna have to use one of these and clean it up and paint it gold on the head after I drove it in, but I didn't have to. So we did get them all on both sides. So now we'll go on to the next thing in the plans. What do we got? I haven't even looked forward in the plans. Oh, we get to build the little house. One of them's gonna cover up our battery box for the lights. So there's a little brass work and planking. That'll take a few hours. And after there's two little houses that we got to build. One on each side. One's going to be a fake house for the battery box, and the other one glues down to the deck. Pretty sure that's what those are. And then we got, it looks like the beginning of the shrouds? No. The beginning of some standing rigging for the mast. Not doing the shrouds yet, which is good because you want to do that stuff in the middle on the mast before you block it off with the shrouds and the dead eyes. Yeah, we're going to do all the standing rigging in the middle before we do shrouds, and then we do dead eyes last. Well, it's not last, but it's after the main standing rigging for the masts. So let's build these two little houses next week. You can see I already cut the hole out, fished the wires up through, and hopefully that's going to work compared to what they brought it down the side. And they're going to cut across the floor of the deck to get to it. But we, being an electrician, ran it where it was invisible. So we'll do that next week. Thanks for watching. Wooden model ship.